Damn.
Mythbusters.
Welcome back to JR Pro Shop Vids, everyone. Today we got a really fun vid with me and Gootz. We're gonna make the racks bad, right? We always hear pros complaining about bad racks, right? We're gonna experiment and move the pins around and see what we leave.
So today we're gonna be moving the 1 pin, the 3 pin, as well as the 6 pin. You're gonna see it move left and right, and we're gonna see what it does to the pocket, and if it's gonna help us carry more or leave us some funky hits.
And at the end of the vid, we're gonna remove the 5 pin. We went around in the league tonight, we asked a few people if they think the 5 pin matters for getting strikes. So we're gonna take the 5 pin out and we're gonna see if the 5 helps us carry the 7, the 8, the 9, or if it just doesn't really matter and if it kind of looks normal without the 5.
Can we start?
Yeah, all right,
Sweet.
Gootz. All right, so me and Gootz just throw about 3 shots each on the perfectly set rack. And as you can see, the pins fall as you would think they would. I hit light a couple times, I left a 2 pin. Gootz struck a couple times, and you can just see the pins fall like you would normally see on a perfectly set rack. So we're gonna use the red pin to signify which pin is off. You will be able to see it nice and clear. And we're gonna move the head pin 1/2 inch left, 1/2 inch right. What do you think's gonna happen, Gootz?
Then we're gonna get some funny hits, good carry, but yeah, let's see what happens.
All right, we just threw a few shots on the 1/2 inch left head pin, and I found that you could hit a little high, a little heavy on the head pin, and it was totally fine, right? I struck once, and I also boned a 9, but I hit heavy on the head pin. I was too high, but the pocket's bigger. What happened with you, Gootz?
Yeah, same here. So I ended up trying to hit, oh, I was losing my voice. So first shot, I left a 210, and then after I realized that, hitting light wasn't it, so I had to hit heavy as well, just like Jung, and my carry just got so much better. You can just see that 1 pin pretty much ricochet off the walls, and yeah, good hits.
So a slight wrap up. It's easy to go too light. It's easy to leave a 2 pin, 210. The head pin's a little too far left, the pocket's bigger. Easier to send that head pin across the 2 and miss it. Right? Now we flipped it. We did head pin 1/2 inch to the right. And as you can see, one of my first shots, I left a 4 pin. And I thought it was a really good shot, but you can see, even though it's pocket on a right rack, it's too heavy. It's too high on a head pin too far to the right. So 4 pin.
Same here, threw a good couple shots, and I can see that the 4 pin is the one that's falling last. So it's been harder to strike with the pin to the right, and we would just leave 4 pins or something funky.
So a good rule of thumb is, can you see the 5 pin if you're standing directly straight on to the head pin? Like if you're standing on 20, the big dot, if you can see the 5 pin, the head pin's off one way or the other, and you might have to adjust your hit in the pocket, right? So they're definitely still strikeable, no doubt about that, just your carry percentage is gonna go down a little bit. So I think the most important pin here is the head pin, right? Left or right, it definitely affects your pocket, right? And it affects the carry of your ball going through the pins. Now we're gonna go to the second most important pin, the 3 pin. We're gonna move a little left, we're gonna move a little right, we're gonna try and hit the pocket a few times, see what happens. Gootz?
Yeah, I don't know what to expect, but it's gonna be kind of crazy.
I think we're gonna leave a lot of 10 pins, one way or the other. Just because it's not gonna hit the 6, not gonna hit the 10. I think we're gonna leave a lot of corner pins here. We noticed that if you hit flush, like high flush, it's still gonna strike, right? There's not too much of a difference on a perfect hit, but it's the off hits is where you see the biggest difference. So for Gootz, he came in light a little bit, and there's just more chance of something weird happening on the right because the 3 is off, right? I went through the schnoz a couple times, and it's easier to leave a 3, 6, 10 just because the 3 is a little left or a little right. It's easier to leave some weird stuff on the right. The left side of the rack doesn't seem to be affected too much, if at all.
So we noticed from the last 2 pockets, the one with the bigger pocket, which is the head pin left or 3-pin right, we struck a lot more, we had better carry percentage, and when it's the opposite, it's just so much harder to strike because your strike window is so much smaller.
Also notice that when the 3-pin is a little bit left, it doesn't quite catch the 6 that well, and the 6 just goes around the 10. I threw one good one there to show the wrap 10, and I think that's just gonna happen a lot if the 3-pin is a little bit left. When the 3-pin's a little bit right, I don't think you're gonna see that as much, but I would still rather, like what Gootz said, a bigger pocket than a smaller. So in any sense, if I ever see a pin off, I'm definitely gonna take a re-rack. Let's move on to the 6 and then maybe the 5. I wanna see what the no 5 does. That'd be cool. All right, we just threw 6 pretty good shots with the 6-pin move left and right. I don't really see too much of a difference with the 6. We kind of left everything we were supposed to leave. A couple 2-pins, a couple 9-pins. Wasn't too many funky things. So I don't think there's too much going on with the 6-pin being off spot. Mostly it's the 1 and 3.
Yeah, just like what Jung said, when it's just the 1 and 3, you usually get a little bit more funky hits.
Yeah.
With it being the 6-pin, I guess it's further to the back. You already got other pins coming at it or the ball. Never know, but yeah, nothing crazy, honestly.
Yeah, so I think when the pin's further back in the rack are off spot, it means less and less. Like I think the head pin means the absolute most, right? A little bit left, a little bit right. The pocket gets bigger and smaller, and that means the most, right? We could leave 4 pins all day if the pocket's too small. So we're leaving a lot of 2 pins and 10 pins when the pocket's a little bit too big, just because it doesn't hit the other pins properly. So I would say the head pin's worth the most, right? So if you're in league or tournament and you're looking at the rack, look at the head pin first, right? That's the most important thing. And then the 2 and the 3, and then the 4 and the 6, and then everything at the back row is probably last. We're gonna throw a few shots here with no 5-pin, right? We're gonna see if the 5-pin's important, because it's really easy to tell the 1 and the 5, they're lined up against each other, so you can see if they're off. Yeah, what do you think? Maybe we'll leave more 8s and 9s.
I feel like we'll leave a lot of big 4s, in my opinion.
If we're in the pocket,
Yeah, there's no 5-pin.
don't listen to Gootz.
I'm a believer of 5-pins. Okay, so here we are with no 5-pin. Like I said, I think I'm gonna leave a lot of big 4s, but.
Good shot, Gootz. Ooh, I think maybe the 5's supposed to take that 7 out, eh?
I think so.
Let's see.
Your turn.
Another little fun thing, you can watch us progress through the video. We started kind of at 3rd arrow. Now me and Gootz over at 4th arrow. And we've thrown maybe 30 shots, 35 shots. So gotta stay lined up, you know? I don't think the 5 mattered too much on that one.
I mean, if we leave another corner pin, then it just proves that the 5-pin does hit one of them. Jimmy wants to see a strike. I'll show him how it's done. Oh, God. All right. Hit light. Hit light. No 5, 7, 10. You can't leave it. Just 7 10s.
Oh, brutal.
Oh,
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I think he's going to leave the 8-pin. Nice 3 count. Nice 3 count. I mean, if the 5 was there, it would have taken out the back row.
Actually, yeah. Gootz is right, yeah. So the 5, even on like a washout, would help take out some more of the back row. It would have taken out the 7 there, I think, for sure.
Yeah, at least.
So yeah, the 5 is important for taking out the back row. That's about right.
Yeah.
It's the 7. The 5 takes care of the 7.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mythbusters.
All right, we're back from the lanes. Me and Gootz just got done bowling. We moved the pins around. We got some funky hits. We got some funky strikes. We got some funky leaves. So we conclude that, you know, the rack does matter. It matters a lot, especially the head pin,
Yep.
right? The head pin means the most, and as you move further back in the rack, it means less and less. So bigger pocket, I think is much better than a smaller pocket, right? So if the 1 pin is moved towards a 3, if you're a right-hander, that's a smaller pocket. It's gonna be hard to carry. We left a couple 4 pins when we did that, right? And when the pocket was bigger, we left them more 2 pins.
So after we moved the head pin, we did move the 3-pin. I can tell you when we had that 3-pin closer to the 6-pin, struck quite a bit. Like, it was pretty crazy on how much carry we got. Bowling the 9 a couple times here and there. So when the 3-pin was moved to the 1-pin, our strike percentage did drop. We didn't strike as much, and we were just getting some weird hits.
Lots of 10 pins.
Yeah.
Right, so the 3-pin matters for 10 pins. So if the 3 pins move left or right, there's more of a chance of leaving a 10 pin if you're a right-hander. That's just the way it is. It's not gonna hit the 6 properly, which is gonna miss the 10, right? So that's why we always try and look for a good rack when we're bowling. Hit the reset button, right? But sometimes in league or tournament, that's what you get, right? It's gonna set the pins up in the same spot every time. So you might have to play the rack a little bit. So bigger pocket, you know, try and hit a little more heavy, right? Smaller pocket, you gotta try and hit a little more light kind of thing, right? So we only move the pin 1/2 inch, guys, 1/2 inch, this much. And you can see how much it affects the ball going through. So imagine if it was off more than that, it'd be crazy. Well, then we move the 6-pin, 1/2 inch left, 1/2 inch right. Didn't really have that much of an effect. I think as the pins move back in the rack, right, it becomes less of an effect if they're off spot a little bit, right? If the 9 is off spot a little bit left or right, it's not gonna have that much of a difference compared to the head pin.
Took out the 5-pin. Once we took that 5-pin out, we did leave weird hits where we will either leave the 7 or the 10, mostly the 7, just because of how the ball was coming in that angle. As well as if you do miss the pocket, like you missed the 1 pin to the right, just like what Jordan did, you get like a weird 3 count. So the 5-pin does matter, especially if you're trying to get count.
Yeah, the 5-pin matters a lot. When you're missing the pocket, right, the 5-pin helps take care of the back row, right, to get a 5, 6, 7 count. I hit a washout, I got 3. On a real rack, it would have been a washout, right? I punched the 3-pin straight back, but if there was a 5 in there, I might have taken out the 7 and the 4. You never know. So just some little advice, try and line up the head pin and the 5 when you're looking at the rack in league or a tournament, right? Because that's gonna tell you the whole story, right? The head pin and the 5-pin are lined up, right? Chances are you got a pretty good rack. Today we just moved the pins left and right 1/2 inch, but there's a million different directions in which you can move a pin off spot, but the other ones are harder to see. Forward and back, pretty hard to see from standing on the approach, so we did left and right, just to show you that there is an effect if the pin is slightly off spot, even just by half an inch, right? So try and make sure you look at the rack, make sure everything's straight before you go bowl. Could mean the difference between making the cut, making the step ladder, or whatever.
All right, guys, question time's with us. When you are bowling and you're gonna start your pre-shot routine, I can tell you for myself that I will look at the racks, make sure that I like it, and if I don't, I'll reset it, because it's very important to me on what's happening down there. I have to make those adjustments. How about for you?
Yeah, I always look at the rack before I pick up my ball, because there's no use in picking up my ball and then resetting the lane, right? So it's part of my pre-shot routine to check the rack, and usually they're pretty good. 99% of the time or more, the racks are pretty good. So it's just that one extra time. It might cost you a strike, so you just never know.
So our question for you today is, do you look at the racks before you throw your ball? Comment down below, let us know.
All right, guys, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you thought of this experiment. Down in the comments, ask away, and let us know if you want us to try anything else, right? We can do whatever. We can bowl with 10 pins. No, I want to say
10 pins? That's no.
Let us know if there's any other experiments you'd like us to try. You know, we can bowl with 15 pins, 18 pins. Doesn't really matter. We can try it out. 4-pound balls might knock down 2 pins.
It'll be fun though.
Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next video.